Greetings and salutations and welcome to a new video where I teach you how to get better at anatomy. Again, because I have a feeling that you have been slacking and that you need to practice more. So if you haven't heard about negative space or silhouettes or positive space, squares, triangles, circles, this is all very important if you want to learn anatomy in an unconventional way, not in a very structured way, because structure and just knowing literally every single muscle that you can think of possibly in the human body is literally straining and so boring. I don't blame you, okay? But you have to learn anatomy at some point if you're trying to get into this business of art. So what you're going to want to do is get your references out. I'm not going to show you my references because why would I do that? No. Find a reference, draw along with me, grab a marker, a watercolor, ink, whatever you have, some big surface that you can draw a silhouette from, and a pen of some sort, not a pencil. I'm asking for a pen today. And come along in this journey. Begin with the silhouette and then go forward with the pen. Don't think too hard about the details, but focus on the shape and the distance. Think of the positive space, which is the color of the pen or the color of the marker, and the negative space, which is the surrounding of the pose of the person, of the subject. And then you're going to want to go over it with the pen, like I said, because I am a repetitive person and I repeat the things I say consecutively. Go ahead with the hair and just style it however you'd like. It doesn't have to be the exact way as the reference itself. When you first start out, when you're doing the silhouette of the head, you'll notice that I don't make it that of the silhouette with the hair, because the hair is, at least to me, is completely separate from the person itself. So I just make the shape of the head. I pretend they are a bald baby and I draw the silhouette of that. Then I go quickly forward as I can with the line art and do my little squiggly lines, because I am very well known for squiggles in my clothes that I illustrate, or the people I illustrate. And I try not to think too fast or too hard, or no, I don't think too hard about where this line is gonna be. I just quickly look at the reference and then I grasp, kind of like, I don't know, in a Tetrisy way, if that's the right term to use, or in just a abstract way of seeing the shapes that I'm supposed to be drawing, not even just with the human body or the muscles of the human body, but as well with the clothes. He's wearing a vest and then he's wearing a button up under it. He has his little plaid pants, he has his shoes. Those are some things that I want to consider when I'm drawing this, not in the sense of the subject or object itself, but rather more of the, how do you say, the silhouette, the shape of it. And when you're going with this exercise, you want to go for colors that aren't too vibrant like the first one I did, and maybe more skin toned if you really want to hone into that, or just literally any of your favorite colors. Like, it could be green, it could be purple, it doesn't matter, but you want to keep it light so that you're still able to see the line art. And you want to keep it quick. You don't want to take the time to fill in the blanks or fill in the silhouette. You want to scribble it as quickly as you can, because this is an exercise. You don't want to take your time. You want to go fast and ham on it. Now, when you first start out with this exercise, you don't need to be great with proportions. You'll work your way up to that level, and obviously you can only learn so much muscles from this. But if you're looking to expand more of your knowledge of anatomy itself. Craftsy is great for that purpose, and it's also the sponsor of today's video. Craftsy is an online community and resource where millions of crafters, makers, DIY enthusiasts find creative inspiration, advance their skills, and learn new ones along the way. They offer more than 2,000 exciting classes in over 20 popular categories like crochet, knitting, painting, photography, cake decorating, woodwork, and even drawing. Classes are broken down into easy to follow lessons and are led by friendly, award-winning instructors who would share their creative wisdom as they provide step-by-step demonstration. Just like this class on Figure Anatomy for the Artist by Roberto Osti, he breaks down the fundamentals for anatomy in the most simplest yet knowledgeable way, from the skeleton to each muscle, from front to back of the anatomy human figure. And honestly, from someone who has been in college for art for 6 years and has been through numerous amounts of figure drawing classes, you get that same knowledge from that one class as you would from a $2,000, $10,000 tuition fee for one class. First 1,000 of you to click the link in the video description or check out the QR code on the screen will get a full year of premium membership to Craftsy for only $1.49, valid for new members only. Thank you to Craftsy for sponsoring this video and for helping us artists get better at our crafts. And once you get tired of just doing the whole silhouette, maybe you want to challenge yourself and go for sectional or partial silhouettes. Try out just the parts of the skin and make enough negative blanks to fill in later with your pen. When you're doing this, perhaps look into the shape of the head, into the shape of the arms. Does it align with the distance from the head to the shoulder? I don't know what you have it. And this is such a fun exercise when you need to focus more on the negative and positive space of things. You're gonna have to guess how far of the distance is from the top torso to the bottom torso, because maybe the pose or reference that you're using isn't fully clothed, or maybe it's really fully clothed and you're working with very small minimum amount of skin showing. And don't take it personal if the shapes aren't totally aligning with the silhouette. The marker is there for a guide, but if it is off, don't be afraid to go outside the line. This will help you understand why your drawing might look off. Oh, maybe I made the leg too long. Maybe I made the head too big. Maybe I made the back protrude out too much that it looks off. Fix it with the line art that you're gonna go over with it. And then I think this is such like a nice thing to see, because you're not only are you practicing your anatomy and stuff, but you're drawing over your mistakes essentially. So if you do have trouble with proportions, this can definitely be beneficial for you in the long run. And in the book of Figure Drawing by Michael Hampton, he says the purposeful use of shape will have a big impact when designing the positive and negative spaces of your composition. The suggestion and exaggeration of any of the below 3 shapes, which are squares, triangles, circles, can give the viewer a clearer message. So with squares, you have rigid, stubborn, immobile, weighted, strong. And triangles, you have stable and aggressive. And circles, you have passive, continuous, fluid, cyclical. I don't know how to say that. After studying these shapes, you return to the different anatomical sections and look at how abstract each muscle is composed of combinations with these 3 forms. You can design the shape of the negative and positive spaces based on the effects you want. And remember that the negative spaces are created by both the space between the figure and other elements in the composition, including the edge of the composition, as well as by the spaces created by the position of the arms and legs in the relation of the body. This is such... I swear to God, I love when I read these types of books and I'm just practicing or exercising with anatomy. Is you never stop learning. right? You think maybe I'm good now. I can only imagine how much better I'll be 5 or 10 years from now because I'm going to continue to keep doing this, and so should you. You should never stop practicing on what your skill is. And it doesn't matter if you're using a marker or a paintbrush, paint, watercolor, ink, just as long as you can build the silhouettes of these things, you're gonna hone into your craft, and it's gonna be amazing. And you're not gonna get it at the first try. You're not gonna get it in the first 20 tries or 30 tries or 50 tries. It's gonna take time to build up to that level. But that doesn't mean you can't do it, because I know that you can do it. I believe in you. And it's so funky seeing these silhouettes of these sectional body parts, if that makes sense. The skin of the figure or reference that you're working with. It's such an abstract looking shape. It's a billion shapes as one. And I think that's such like a funky or interesting way to think of it like that. And then not only are you working with those shapes, but you're also drawing out of those shapes, making more shapes. It's like a shape world. We're all just made of a bunch of circles, triangles, and squares, rectangles, rhombuses, ovals. What else is there? I feel like a trapezoid maybe? I don't know. I think I try to view the world as this, especially when I'm looking at like trains or like mechanical things, trees. Everything has a shape. There's this painting or like this huge like frame artwork thing that my partner has in his bedroom, and I just be staring at it sometimes when I'm laying in bed, because it's just flames, mind you. It's just like a not even, I don't know what it is, but it's like a vector thing or something of just flames. It's literally a huge thing of flames. But when you really look at it, you get to see like these like weird shapes, or like these, your mind starts to compose all of this negative space, all of this positive space, and make you think like, oh my god, why do I see Sonic in this painting? Why do I see Optimus Prime in this painting? And it's so crazy. And I tell him, like, do you see this? And he's like, no. And that's the thing, like, I think with artists, like, we expand our mind from the conventional way of thinking so that we can broaden our skill and hone into our craft, as opposed to other people who don't really draw for a living or just draw as a hobby. They don't understand what we see. We have like these different lenses, and with this exercise, it just really trains your brain to think like that, which I think is so cool. Now, if you want a challenge from the opposite of the skin sectional part, perhaps you want to reverse it. Color in the silhouette of the clothes or the hair, and then draw the line art. You have more of an idea of the shapes of the folds, and as well as the body. When it comes to folds or shapes of clothing, you get to see how it drapes, to be honest, or the way it folds. Not every fold is just like a little squiggle, although it seems like that in my illustrations, which I understand. I think of it as mostly triangles or ovals, but mostly triangles. Triangles that I fill in, triangles that I don't fill in, triangles that aren't completely, connected within the lines. Or maybe even you get to see the inside of the pants or the sleeves. You see the opening, and you fill that in with the shadow, because that's just how the clothes form with that. I think another thing with like baggy clothes, I love drawing baggy clothes. It's so comforting, and there's so much folds, and crevices to fill in, and that's what makes it so fun. So even just looking at the silhouette of this illustration is just crazy, you know? Like, over time, you will practice with your eyeballs. That you'll see that this is a person. What are they doing exactly? I can't really tell, but once I get the line art down, you'll see it more often. Now, if you really, 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 really want to practice with this, or rather just challenge yourself even more, don't even use a reference. Draw just random blobs throughout your sketchbook and then see what you can build with that silhouette of a blob, or perhaps a person, or perhaps Optimus Prime. I don't know what you see. What do you see? This is the type of exercise that not only helps you I don't know why my voice cracked. This exercise doesn't only help you with learning anatomy or learning how to draw a certain thing, but it also expands your imagination of what you can draw within this said thing that you're given. And over time, you will train your hand to create the body with better proportions and quality line work. Really hone in and study the shapes of everything you see and have fun with it. I think this exercise is beyond fun for me because, first of all, I don't really get to draw for fun or for my own pleasure anymore because I'm just so busy with work. Funny because my job is a freelancer and I don't really draw that much anymore. I kind of compare this, at least to myself, like as a coloring book, except you're kind of reversing it in a way where you're not coloring in the lines, you're drawing those lines that are already colored in. Was that the right way to say it? I don't know, but do you get what I'm saying? You're not drawing in the colors, you're drawing in the lines that will help distinguish the colors, the shapes that are already in that sketchbook. And if you want to focus on a particular part of the body, no worries. Draw the silhouette of a hand, feet, kneecap, I don't know, muscles, your calf, your thigh, your glutes, a booty, a nice thick booty, or even like heads. Try to even section the bodies like the head or the torso, and you'll notice some things that you didn't notice before, like how sometimes torsos look like a Dorito, like a tortilla chip shape, and because of how broad the shoulders can be, yet also how thin the waist can also be. And don't forget to put in those negative spaces because those add so much more to your pose, to your subject, to your illustration. And have fun when you're doing this. I know studying, just anything in general, can be boring sometimes, especially with anatomy. The last thing you want to do is learn what muscle is this? What's the purpose? What does it do? You're not a surgeon. You're not studying to be a doctor. So you don't need to know every single thing. Although it would be really sick if you did, you don't have to. This is the thing about learning how to draw things in an unconventional way because it's so different. I think the same way with like how I learned math in like high school. Everything came so easy to me, but I didn't do it in the way that they taught us to. I just did it in a different way. And I still got the same results at the end. And even though my teacher would kind of be upset, like, where's the proof? Where's the work? And I'm like, I did it in my head. I didn't need to write it down. But unfortunately, they made me write it down on like Regents and like big tests because I had to prove that I actually did it and I wasn't cheating. But how can you cheat with your brain? I just did it in a different way. But this gets so much more handy when you're working with hands or feet, because then you get a more better understanding of like the muscles, because obviously you can see some of your skeleton I guess, no, your bones, I guess, protrude out when you handle your hands in a different way, or the same with your feet. Your hands and your feet are very, very bony, because I guess it's just thinner skin. There's less fat going on in those parts of your body. And then once you start to get a better understanding of anatomy, don't be afraid to keep the colors outside of the figure, because the more often you do this, the better you'll get at it, right? As with any skill in your life. And soon you'll be able to draw without the silhouettes of these shapes. You'll be able to just do it with the line art, and it won't come immediately, but when it does, you're not even going to notice it immediately. You're going to be like, wait a minute, I did that on my own. Holy moly, holy cow. What kind of sorcery am I doing? Help. I don't know what I'm on anymore. I'm tired of talking. This is my second round of this video, but nonetheless, as you're studying these things in your sketchbook, perhaps you also want to perhaps write notes, take notes, see what you did in that moment so that you can remember and do it again, or write down what you screwed up on, what was your mistake, and how you resolved that mistake. These are things that will guide you throughout your journey as an artist. And also, it's just really cute and aesthetic when you do this, especially when there's a lot of negative space in your sketchbook and you're like, damn, this kind of looks ugly, but no worries, because I'm just gonna write my little notes in it and then make profit out of it and make a whole book out of it. No, but seriously, just any notes is just very beneficial for you. There's nothing bad about doing that. And yeah, have fun with it. It doesn't have to be perfect. You will get better over time. And if you like some of these videos, or if you like this video itself, let me know, and maybe I'll make more videos where I teach you how to draw feet, where I teach you how to draw feet or hands, or focus more on clothing, hair, faces, but in a more unconventional way, because I am an unconventional person who likes to learn things in a very unconventional way, because sometimes doing it the old-fashioned way is very intimidating and it's very hard. And maybe that's the same case for people with ADHD, and it makes you stray away from it. But that doesn't mean you can't learn it. You're just gonna learn it in a different way, and you're gonna be just as awesome as anyone else, okay? This is me encouraging you. Stop slacking and get to it. Get to it. Nonetheless, I will see you in the next video. Check out my other videos, maybe follow me, tap that ring ding button, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.